You are caught between two choices. One is fully you, the other is the you that others would approve of, and you reach for the second one. Does this scene feel familiar to you? We spend our whole lives trying to please people we don't even like that much, and then we wonder why we feel invisible. Today, I am going to tell you about a woman the entire world tried to name, and she simply refused to listen. For 100 years now, the whole world has been wearing the clothes she chose because she refused to make herself smaller. Her name was Gabrielle, but the world would later come to know her as Coco. When her mother died, her father left her at an orphanage convent and never came back. When that girl grew up, she had no money, no name, and no hand to push her forward. The picture they had drawn for her was clear: a poor girl who might sew a little, and if she was lucky, live in someone else's shadow. The women around her wore corsets they could barely breathe in, because that was how society had decided beauty should look. Gabrielle simply asked one question: but does this actually suit me? She took the color black, which back then was worn only for mourning, and she turned it into elegance. She stripped the excess away from women's clothing and gave them the freedom to move. No one gave her permission. She didn't wait for permission. The world told her who she would be, and she stitched her own name with her own hands. Today, for more than 100 years, those two letters that carry her name have meant elegance itself. There is a quiet truth here. When you make yourself smaller, you don't become safe. You simply hand other people the right to decide who you are. When you soften your opinion, when you lower your voice, when you let yourself fade a little, other people fill that empty space with their own ideas of you. The version of you that others expect is comfortable because it doesn't disturb them. But that version isn't you. Knowing your own worth, keeping your own identity clear, is not about defeating anyone. It is simply a permission you give yourself to reject the small picture drawn for you and stand at your full size. The more clearly you show up, the less room there is for the world to decide your place for you. At the company where I worked, I used to stay silent in meetings. I would have an idea, but I couldn't say it. In my head, I would think, maybe it's wrong, maybe they'll laugh. Let someone else say it. One day, someone else said the very thing I had been thinking, and everyone applauded. In that moment, I understood that what had been stopping me wasn't the weakness of my idea, it was my habit of making myself smaller. Maybe you know this feeling too. In a relationship, you say what the other person wants to hear instead of what you actually think, just to keep the peace. At work, you keep a big idea to yourself because you're afraid someone might look at you coldly. At home, they tell you that this isn't really you. Be sensible, be realistic, and you quietly set your own dream aside in a corner. You are not the sum of the names other people have given you. You were born with the right to name yourself. We just sometimes forget to take that right back. Coco did it a century ago, and you can do it again, every single day. If this touched something inside you, subscribe to this channel, because here we talk about feminine power from the depths of history. Now write something in the comments for me. What is the biggest thing you've made smaller in yourself just to please other people? I'll read every single one.